Hello, Dr. Catalano. I hope you're doing well. Hope your family's staying safe in this quarantine and you're staying busy. Honestly, that's the best thing to do. Um, but here's my public health internship. I did my internship at Alamance Pediatric Dental Office. It's in Burlington, North Carolina, and it's because I have the aspirations of being a pediatric dentist. So for the agency report, the goal of the agency is to ensure that every child in the Alamance County and even neighboring areas are provided for as far as oral health goes. Pediatric dental offices, unlike most dental offices, they accept Medicaid. So with that being an option, it allows for more children to go and be seen here as opposed to other practices. So, kind of touched on this already, but the nature of the population served are children. The age range is very vast. It could be from newborns, infants, to 18-year-olds, full-grown adults. Honestly, it just kind of depends because after a certain age, some children want to graduate to another dental office, and there are some adults that would actually prefer to be in a pediatric dental office. Most of that is because of the laughing gas that allows for a relaxed environment as opposed to if they were hearing drills going in their mouth and things like that. But they serve everyone despite their socioeconomic status. The funding for the agency, there are two main ways of funding. There are private pay and Medicaid. Like I said, pediatric dental offices, unlike most dental offices or most healthcare organizations, they accept Medicaid. So it allows for the parents who are on Medicaid to go and give the child the oral health care that they provide or that they need. And that's very essential because, as we'll talk about later on, these different, or just oral health alone, can skew off into many different adverse lifestyle situations. So the employees at the pediatric dental office, there's three dentists. There's three pediatric dentists. The one that I worked with was Dr. Michael Todd Grooms. He's there 4 days a week. 4 days a week. And the other dentists rotate on the other day. There's 6 dental hygienists that help with the cleanings. They're there full time. And there's 2 dental assistants that are there full time as well that assist with the operations such as putting on crowns, fillings, extractions, the more in-depth things. So for the internship report. So my responsibilities were dental triaging, which I learned a lot about. I was able to learn how to check vitals such as blood pressure, heart rate. I was able to learn about the different kinds of medications that people were on, for instance, blood thinners, and other things that they might have allergic reactions to, or even that the medicines they get from the dental appointment might react along with the other medications that they're taking. So it did open my eyes a lot in that aspect. Another thing I did was patient support. Like I said, we're working with mostly children, so they're not too fond of the dentist. They're pretty terrified, to say the least. And with that being said, they need someone to help just ensure them that it's going to be okay. And I did this through a vast amount of ways, and I learned that, honestly, singing them lullabies, that actually does help, even with as bad as my singing is. And they also have tablets in the actual office that the children can actually play on. And even if they have headphones, they can plug in their headphones and listen to music. And honestly, we found that that's probably the best way. As long as they can listen to some music they like, it blocks out that drilling sound. So therefore, it eases it up. So I also did dental assisting. Granted, since I'm not a certified dental assistant, I couldn't do any of the extravagant procedures like the stainless steel crowns or anything like that. But I was able to assist with cleanings, and I was even able to learn how to properly place x-rays. I did not take x-rays because that is not legally allowed, but I was able to see where the proper placement is, aligning with the camera and everything. So it was very informational. The post-op follow-ups, what I would do is that since they're mostly children, depending on their age, but since they're mostly about elementary school, I would go after the procedure and tell the child, either if they drove there by themselves, or I would tell their parent or guardian that whatever the post-op procedures are. For instance, if they have extraction, there's supposed to be no forceful spitting, no sucking through a straw, no spicy foods, and they get to eat a lot of ice cream, which they tend to like that. We even give out a little Chick-fil-A ice cream gift card that they can go get a free ice cream at right after the appointment. The lab work I did was through a camera. It was through a wand camera called an Omnicam, where I would basically scan the inside of the person's mouth without even touching them, and it would actually create a 3D model. And then we could then incorporate crowns or fillings or whatever kinds of things that particular patient needed. So for the internship projects, I'm doing 2 projects. One of them is on the proper dental hygiene. For instance, brushing techniques, flossing, mouthwash, just the whole 9 yards. And then the other one is more of the dietary background of it. What foods and drinks you should eat, which ones you should skew away from, especially if you were prone to more cavities than the typical person. So for the public health domains, we went over the overview of public health, basically the basic public health core concept, the history of the public health, the importance of data in the public health. Like I said, with me being able to work with a dental office that actually accepts Medicaid, I was able to learn the background of Medicaid a little bit more in depth. I was able to understand understand which person qualifies, what person doesn't qualify, and what exactly Medicaid covers. So it was very informational overall. The takeaways that I got, most important, was the patience and positivity. Like I said, you're working with kids that are screaming, crying in the chair, so you have to be patient and you have to be positive, because like I said, they need that assurance that it's going to be okay. And if the assistant or the dentist is freaking out, then the child's going to freak out. So those are the 2 main takeaways that I got. I most like the kids because I like working with the kids, like learning about how their school's going, what they like to do, what shows they like, what sports they play, just kind of getting to connect with them a whole lot more. And that was honestly it was really nice to just see a smile put on the child's face. I least like the tantrums, of course. The crying and kicking and screaming definitely wasn't my favorite, but it allowed me to appreciate the patience aspect more. It allowed me to, in the positivity, because you need to be patient and positive, especially when they're kicking and screaming, even if you have to restrain them. Like I said, singing or giving them an iPad to play with or something like that usually helps, but it doesn't always. The most memorable was a stainless steel crown reaction, and it was actually like 1 in a million chance, because we actually did an operation where we put 3 stainless steel crowns on the premolar, and about a few days later he had really bad gum inflammation, just localized right near the stainless steel crowns. And we first thought it was a gum disease, but he went and did some tests and actually found out that he is allergic to nickel, which is an extremely rare case that he has never seen in all of his 20 years of dentistry, and hasn't really seen anything else. But like I said, these are the main takeaways, and I'd love to be a pediatric dentist because like I said, the oral health definitely branches out a whole lot more than people think. Thank you so much.